Hello, my name is Leah Golden, and today I'm going to be talking to you about LGBT rights in the United States and why I believe that the fight for LGBT equality is far from over and why it's important to pass further legislation and laws in support of the LGBT community. In July of 2015, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in favor of legislation of same-sex marriage across the United States, and while this was a huge accomplishment for the LGBT community and a great gift for the decades of hard work that the LGBT community has put in and the supporters and allies of the LGBT community have put in. With that being said, the fight for equal rights for the LGBT community is far from over. My speech is going to attempt to persuade you to see why the LGBT community in the United States is in need of further legislation and why it's such an important issue. Hopefully, by in this, you will agree or at least maybe give some thought to it. And, if not, that's okay. We all are obviously entitled to our own opinions, and this is just mine. So to start off with, LGBT laws and policies in South Carolina. Like I said, it was passed last summer that it's same-sex marriage is legal in all 50 states. There has been some issues with that, with some states not wanting to issue marriage licenses, but South Carolina has been mostly cooperative with that. There have been laws trying to overturn it here, but none of them, or bills, trying to get passed to overturn, and none of that's gotten very far, thankfully. But there are no current laws in South Carolina to protect the LGBT community from housing discrimination, employment discrimination, there's no laws for public accommodations discrimination or LGBT community school bullying or transgender healthcare discrimination. These are issues faced in many other states in the United States, not just South Carolina. Actually, the majority of other states have these same issues, or some of them, if not all, the same issues. So yeah, why we need these laws, or why I think we need these laws. I think it's pretty obvious with what I've given you. With no laws in place to prohibit discrimination, it's obviously going to occur in the LGBT community, and LGBT people could just, they're denied basic human rights because there aren't any laws in place to prohibit this discrimination, and people are taking advantage of that. It's like I said, it's legal in South Carolina to fire someone or simply just not hire them based on their gender or sexual identity. It's legal in South Carolina to deny housing to someone based on their gender or sexual identity. It's legal in South Carolina to deny public accommodation to someone based on their gender or sexual identity, such as, just simply being able to deny them service somewhere. Or if you're a business owner, you cannot serve someone just based on their sexual or gender identity. And that's perfectly legal here, as well as many other states. There's no laws to prohibit bullying on LGBT students in public schools here, which I think is especially important to protect the LGBT youth because the suicide rates are so high. Obviously it wouldn't fix the whole problem because there's still the whole acceptance issue, and there are home lives that aren't great. But if they can't be protected at home, at least let's protect the youth at school and make sure they're getting their education just as fairly and non-bothered as every other student. And it's legal in South Carolina for insurance agencies to be able to deny health coverage to transgender individuals just because they're transgender. They can just choose not to take them on, and it's perfectly legal. Like I said, this isn't just South Carolina. It's many, many states who have these same issues and the same discrimination that's going on there, as well as here. So, just to kind of reiterate what I've been saying, I just personally believe that every person is equal. Every human being deserves to have basic human rights, and without these further laws in place, the LGBT community is going to continue to be discriminated against for, housing, employment, healthcare, and just, the youth is going to continue to be bullied in school, and there's no programs to protect them or help aid them in staying safe in the schools. Many people think that with the passing of the legislation that made same-sex marriage legal, that the fight's done, everyone's equal now. And like I said, it was a great accomplishment, and of course, like, it's wonderful that finally got passed. But the fight's not over, and there's still a lot more to go. Um, yeah. So I mean, there just needs to be more laws passed in the LG to protect the LGBT community from all the actions that I've mentioned here today. And just for LGBT people to be able to live equally like every other citizen in the United States. I just think it's a really important thing. Two the main sources I used for this information was HRC.org, which is the Human Rights Campaign. They do a lot of great work. And then also SCEquality.org, which is the local equality chapter here in South Carolina. But yeah, thanks for listening. Hopefully you give this at least a little bit of thought, and maybe you can come to see that this is important, and that maybe you want to get involved and help out, or at least vote for people who are going to be, working hard to protect the LGBT community and pass further laws for this. Thanks.